Okay, day 2 of the masonry heater build, and you guys, if you didn't catch the last video, go check it out because we showed them putting the whole core up in about 3.5 hours. That was like record speed for them. It was awesome. So everything is going good. Starting day 2 right now. Patrick has been like pre-staging things to start doing the bench. So I'm gonna let him take over from here and let him tell you what we're going to do today. And I think he wants to tell you about this little piece of cardboard up here. We're going to be putting the skin on, second skin on today. So yeah, we were just kind of dry stacking, getting it laid out. So that's the goal today. We also had to make some parts for this damper, the bypass damper. We kind of chatted about that a little bit the other day. We just want to be able to have the flue gases get into the chimney right away. Yep. Warm up that chimney. So today our goal is to get the whole second skin on. Which this is the second skin. Yep. All this is a bunch. So we casted all these pieces. So that's the goal today. And what it goes over the cardboard wrap. And the cardboard wrap is there to hold the space. So we don't want too much space, but we need enough space. We're looking for about 1/4 of an inch. And so we get double wall cardboard. And then we put these pieces down, and then we slush mud in between them. And then when we have our first few fires, once the core gets hot enough, it will burn this off. But it doesn't. It's burning anaerobically, so there's not going to be smoke from it. It's basically like how they make biochar. They throw a bunch of wood in a bin, they seal it off, they get it up to 800 degrees, and it just turns to ash. Gotcha. No smoke. So that's what happens to this, and the ashes drop down. And then it leaves a nice 1/4 inch gap so that the core can expand and contract in all directions without cracking the exterior skin. Yep. And so that's the point of that. Hey, some people were thinking this was styrofoam in there. I think you're pretty sure what you told them what it was. It's ceramic wool, so it's serviceable to 2200 degrees. And yeah, so it comes on rolls. We call it a ceramic blanket. Okay. So it's actually glass, ceramic glass strands. So you're saying it's not napalm like they use in the bombs? Nope. The styrofoam that sticks to people's skin? Correct. It's not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. It has a purpose. Right. It's fun. In the world of refractory, a masonry heater is a very cold we only have, our fires are designed for about 1600 degrees. This is kind of where we want to be, 1500 degrees, 1600 degrees. The refractory world is designed around 2000. Oh wow. And so we don't tax the system with anything that we're doing. So yeah, it's all very sound. Yep. Awesome. And just to be clear, like the reason that oxygen won't be in here to ignite this is because it's completely sealed. Everything gets sealed as we build, so the oxygen can't get in. Awesome. So what we're going to start now, are you going to start on this side and you're going to build your way around, or how's that going to work? Yeah, we'll probably just downstack these dry stacked pieces, and then I'll probably start on this side and just build this damper holder, and then we'll just start laying in course 1, course 2, and we'll get up to second course, and we're going to start installing some doors and stuff because they sit right down on top of course 2. It starts to really take form, don't it? Get the doors on. It does. Yep. It's going to look awesome. Let's get busy. Okay, so this is actually a custom piece that he had to build on site. And the reason why this is because we're having a bench, and he explained it in the last video. We're having a big wraparound bench, and this is so we can close the bench off when we're trying to start the fire, right, Pat? Yep, that's right. So when we're trying to start the fire, we can get the flue all heated up and everything, and then we can open it up. So this isn't like a common thing that you have to do on these masonry heaters. Right. It's just a custom thing.
Okay, so what Patrick's doing, we explained this a little bit before, but what he's doing right now, he's designed the second skin in place of the brick. Now, like he said, these aren't for sale yet. Something that he's going to perfect over time. This is like the test run, right?
It is the test run.
We're excited.
I know. We're hoping it works out.
Yeah, it's going to. It's going to work out awesome. So that's what it is right now. Usually this would be brick.
Yes.
How he does all the other with brick. But if this all works out like he thinks it's going to, this will change the game for his company, because now a 2-week build turns into like a week build, right? Something like that.
Yeah, it's very true.
So it's going to be awesome. So when he travels, instead of traveling 2 weeks, it'll be 1 week. So it's going to be really awesome if this all works out.
Yeah, we just don't travel for 2,
Exactly, it's not feasible. No.
Yeah. So it's got to be something you can do in a week.
Yep, perfect.
So.
Is your dad high?
1 beat is
You're gonna get smashed, Lily. You better get out of here. Get. So you can see they have actually marked all these. So that's 1B for one back. So that's 2B and 3B, 4B all the way up. So it makes it very convenient for them. And then the right side,
wood box.
wood box. I was gonna ask what the W was.
Box. Front.
Front.
What's that? That's bench. That's chimney. Left piece.
Let's go in like a, what's that? Jenga? Is it Jenga? Those little games. Yeah. Look, Bobby keeps wanting to come in here and see what's going on. He's like, what's all the ruckus in there? All right, every time I come out here, you run away from me.
So we're gonna wrap the outside now with the insulation around the door,
Oh yeah.
and then once we get that wrapped, and this is all tucked in, it's easiest at that point to cut this cardboard away, because this cardboard here, you'll notice in the instructions it says it doesn't want that there, and that's just because it doesn't need to be there.
Okay.
It's just getting in the way of airflow. And so, easiest way to do that is once this is installed, we just take a razor and just zip that up, and take that out of there. Then, rather than just kind of having it hang open.
Okay.
So that's when we'll do that, and then we'll throw on these front plates to cover up that air slot at the bottom of the door. We can show them the bottom of the door if you want to see that.
Yeah, for sure.
All of the air for the heater comes in this bottom air slot.
Okay. You guys can see that.
Yep, and then there's slots right here for the top of the door, and that throws air over the glass to keep the glass nice and clean
Keeps it
for
clean,
your fire.
huh?
Yep, so
Awesome.
you don't have a dirty fire. And then this here is air slot so that the coals burn off.
Okay.
So you get a really efficient
So
burn.
that's a good door, isn't it?
Yep, with air coming in and various locations like that. And then Luke, why don't you finish just tucking that in, because you still want that to be, no ability for air to get in anywhere on the cardboard, because we said that's an anaerobic combustion.
Yeah.
And so we'll just finish that tucking so that that's all just mortar.
All right, what you got going on?
So this is where the flue gases are going to exit out to get into the bench.
Okay.
We're going to put this last piece on here. This will get, when we put the flue pipe in there, we'll lay that down on a piece of ceramic roll, and we'll tuck ceramic roll in around this opening. We want to insert the pipe
Okay.
so that it's flush with the back wall.
You put the wool all the way around it.
Wall all the way around it. You have to insulate that and just put a gasket in there. Sometimes you just want things to be able to move a little bit without cracking, and a little bit independently of everything else.
Yeah.
So that's how we do this. We just insert, tuck wool in nice and tight, and then that's a good gasket.
Awesome. I have a question for you.
Yep.
So if someone's wanting to take this project on and actually do a bench themselves,
Yep.
where do they find this at?
Best place is a brickyard.
Brickyard?
Same place you pick up your brick.
And what are those considered? What are those called?
They're called the clay flue tile.
Okay.
It's a 12 by, it's an 8 by 12.
Okay.
And you need to use an 8 by 12. You cannot use an 8 by 8. You can use a 10-inch outside diameter round pipe if you want to use round, but that's going to be a lot more difficult to work with. I wouldn't recommend, not for a bench. You wouldn't do it for a bench, but if you're going straight up and you wanted to do a clay flue chimney, people will do like round clay flue, but they have to be the 10-inch outside diameter. You got to have a decent 8-inch interior diameter clay flue pipe.
So if someone contacts you and wants to purchase one of these, and they're saying, hey, Patrick, I want to do the bench too, they can ask you for what they're called, what everything's called.
Absolutely.
Because that was my hang up, was like, man, where do I find this at?
Yep. And you can send me your plans and I'll take a look at them and tell you what I like and don't like about it.
Awesome.
You know, and give you some pointers too.
Okay.
So. You can hear it scraping, so that's perfect. Before we get that second screw, take a level on the bottom. Make sure the door is perfectly level before you drill that hole. Because you can adjust it with the screw. So like if you're, if you need to come up a little bit, angle your drill bit up just a little bit. It'll suck the door in and up.
Makes sense. That's a temporary bracket. All right. The most important thing about the temporary bracket is that once the door is in and everything is set up, you have to pull out this bolt and that bolt right here, the middle bolts. And the reason for that is because that bolt holds onto that bracket. Okay.
Okay, so if you leave this into the core, and these bolts are mounted into the exterior veneer, these two things are going to move independently, and this door is going to tear itself to pieces.
Gotcha.
So
that's pretty important step then.
Very important. Before you can light a fire, you got to check and make sure those bolts are out of the middle. Then you're good to go. Then everything can move independently and slide.
So you're still leaving these on. You're just taking the
on.
bolts out.
That's right.
Gotcha.
These stay on forever, but the bolts got to be out of there.
Okay.
Yep.
What's awesome about this series of videos we're making on this is not only for like our entertainment purposes, but this will be like pretty much a step-by-step tutorial of how to do this, right, Patrick?
It is.
It's awesome. So you can actually go back, if you buy one of these, you can refer back to it, and we're pretty much going over almost every step. If we've missed something, I don't know what yet, but so it's really important that we go over little details like this. So these videos may be a little bit longer, but there's a purpose behind that. It's going to be really beneficial to some of you guys out there.
Okay. So once you get that first screw set, then you want to level in the bottom of this door.
So it comes with 4 screws?
Yes.
And he's just getting them started so it'll be easier to install it, right?
Yeah. Just starting this way. Just get them in there, because then you can just take your screwdriver and
He's been bragging about how easy this is.
yeah, it's supposed to be easy.
So he's been bragging to me how easy this goes in, so let's try it. It ain't fitting.
I think it's the easiest door to put in.
That's how it's supposed to fit, right?
That's how it's supposed to be, just like that. Yeah. And then all it is those 4 screws on the inside.
Yeah.
You
You got it? I'll
just
show
tighten
you.
them up. Yep.
Got it?
Yep. Don't go crazy on it though.
Don't go crazy on it.
There you go. That's good enough for that one.
That's all you need on that?
Yep. Just to start, you know, then we'll get it kind of, once they're all fit, we get it snugged out. Should be good. Good?
Okay. Good. One more.
Good. That's it.
Go from there. That's all there is to it?
That's it.
That's pretty easy. That was pretty easy, Pat. Where's the pizza?
Yeah.
Oh, looky there.
Okay.
So, Brandy, did you make lunch?
Nope, Mom. Nana.
So, Jerry's catering service. Would you call your dad the delivery man?
Yeah, he's the Uber of the food.
So, Brandy's mom made lunch for everybody. That's her famous, world famous chicken noodles. Chicken noodles.
That's what the girls request every week. But yeah, there's salad and then those and bread, and I'll put the cake on it.
If you say what you mean and I listen close, then I'll know what you mean. So the theory goes, but here in the real world, it don't work that way. You claim I don't hear anything you say.
This hole, and so.
Oh, that's where
I
that.
just missed it. So it looks just like this.
Okay.
And so it receives this piece here. It'll receive that stud, right? So it goes in there like this.
Okay.
And so then we just filled that with mortar. When you build it with brick, you're just gonna build this, you know, right into your brick joint, or you know, you'll just do a little hammer drill or
Yeah.
something, and these studs have to go into a brick joint. That's kind of you
And
work
then
your
you fill
coursing
it
out
in.
there. Yep.
Awesome.
And help me get it over, you know, through the back here.
Okay.
There we go.
It is a big piece.
Yeah, it's a big. Set it over there. Just like that. This is, you got to just make sure that you course out your brick either fit in there, or you've got to cut it so that your brick fits in there. So for our purposes, we've made a piece,
Somebody measured it right, didn't they?
and then we slug it.
That's good.
We'll just take.
We'll have to go and take a bite. He's like, yeah, we have to do
Throw a little more in there. And then it all dries up. That's what holds the door. All the way to the edge.
Brandon. So he's gonna bring a ledge out here. And I told him whatever he would do his own personal one to do that for ours. Let's try it.
See how it fits. Oh, this one's one. Oh, you don't? Yeah. You got? Yeah, I'll take this. This one's, it's shorter, so there's a little more PSI on it. Alrighty.
Down now.
I like that though. Well,
Better
maybe not
to
quite so
fix
much,
that.
but we can fix that with mud. A little down is good, because if you spill something on
Yeah.
there, I'd rather it come off this way.
Yeah, pizza sauce.
Right, exactly. Got half of that. Let's tip it up like this to get in there. You under?
Mm-hmm.
You're not under there. There you go. Okay, then come on down.
How's that looking?
Put that on there. That's perfect. Just a slight downhill in case you spill your coffee on there.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't run back into your heater.
All right, Pat, what you got going on?
Okay, so we got the final course going on, and you know we left the cardboard run wild, just a little high.
Yeah.
So we're gonna trim that off the top of the cap now. I'm gonna put that last course on, and then we've been slugging mud. So if you're laying brick, you're gonna be slushing mud behind your brick.
Yeah.
So once you cut this cardboard now flush to this cap, you're only gonna slush mud to the top of the cardboard, and that's it.
Yeah.
We don't want to create a bridge between this cap and this stone. We don't want to create a bridge between the core and the outside.
Okay.
So we leave that, and then that's when we lay that ceramic blanket up there.
Yeah.
And we kind of make that bowl shape.
Yeah.
And it runs up all the sides, and then we fill that with mortar, and that presses up against that last course to create that perfect seal. And then also so that we prevent a bridge from kind of going between the two, the core and the second skin, and causing a crack.
Okay.
So, but we'll do that in a minute, but just going to explain what we're doing
Yeah.
now.
All right, so I'll show them you doing that.
Sounds good.
So that's what you're talking about right there.
Yep, so cut flush to here.
Yep.
This gap that's here, that stays. We're not going to fill that with mud. And then you can start tucking in that real short, you know, it's just right there, right? Not this. All right. So yeah, right now they're just kind of, they're stuffing some insulation in that area where we don't want the mud to go.
Okay.
Just, we've got enough to do that, so
Yeah.
it makes sense to do
Yeah.
it. So keep some mud out of it.
That's a good idea.
Yep.
What's the average, like, when you go, it probably varies, but the ceiling height. Like this is 10 foot. Is
Yeah.
normal 8 foot that you put these in?
Yeah,
'Cause-
normal's 8 feet. Yeah, and you can do 8. And that's about as. I guess we'd have to look into it. I think we can do a little bit lower, but we would rather see an 8 foot ceiling for the.
I think that's pretty common as 8,
8 is
8,
pretty
9.
common. Yeah, if you get lower than 8, that's pretty old.
Yeah.
House.
Oh, there's Patrick. What's going on, man?
All right, so we're at the top of the heater. We wanted to avoid the bridging between the cap and the final fill here. So we stuffed a layer of insulation in there just to kind of make sure that we're not getting any major bridging here. So then the next step is to unfurl this long piece of insulation down here. And that's gonna go, it kind of rides up the sides, gets tucked in.
Like that?
Yep. We're gonna pull it this way and then grab a couple strips. You grab me a couple of strips. Because what we want to create is kind of a bowl. So if you want to lift that corner up just a little bit and pull it this way, there we go. And create this bowl. There we go.
So you want this pushed down? That's even with the...
Yeah, push it like down like this, yep. So that it's kind of even with the top here. Okay. There's this. Okay.
Just for your cats to get up on top of here and can take a nap when it's nice and warm?
They can, yeah, they can get up there, they certainly will. They're content on the warm floor though, too.
Yeah.
That's what I've seen. So then, just kind of lapping that down. And then, we just got this with one more strip. Kind of turn that, yeah, there you go. And then we'll do one on the side here. Just to
Right
kind of
there?
complete, yep, just like that. Let's see. I like a deeper bowl. Like if you can, with this piece, it's 24 inches wide. It's only gonna roll up like half an inch on both sides. If
Yeah.
you use it that way. I prefer just to have more material here.
I gotcha.
So that's why I'm using a couple extra strips on this side.
Yeah.
So, all right, and then we just fill this up, a couple inches of cement or mortar. We're going to just use mortar, and then But remember, we want at least an inch of air space because this core is going to move up and down.
Okay.
So since we're going to cap this with stone, we don't want the core coming up and crushing up into the caps.
That makes sense.
So give yourself an inch on the top so that this can move up and down without popping the caps. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Mortar time?
Mortar time.
Mortar time.
Mortar time.
Get another bucket. A minute to just spread that out, see where we're at. Yeah, let's grab another pail. Let's make it
Half or full?
let's do a half. Half to 3/4. So then that mortar just kind of presses up against the sides there and just holds that gasket in place. So that's the important thing.
So if you were doing this brick, how much would you got done in this, where you're at now?
Yeah, if I was laying the brick, I think I would only expect to be halfway done, you know, laying brick. Not that, I mean, it's about, I would expect 2 days to just kind of get that.
You cover your time in half.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, there you go.
So,
Should write your name
we got a
in.
good couple inches, yeah, right. Got a good couple inches of mud in there, and it's just pressing that gasket up on all sides. This is okay if this is running a little high, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
It's just got to be there. So this then is a finished core wrap, and we're ready to, you know, you can either start sticking your stone or your brick to this, or your tile or your stucco, whatever.
So it's ready to go as soon as
It's ready to go.
That's awesome.
Yep, and then now we're going to put stone caps on top of this. That's the finish on the top of this. Some people will just, you know, you can run this gasket all the way up and then just kind of put in concrete or mortar, and some people just finish it that way because they're like, we're never going to,
Yeah.
there's no upstairs to look down on it.
Yeah.
So
it doesn't really matter either way.
yeah, exactly. So it's still about finishing options.
Yeah.
So you can leave it like this. It's okay to do that too.
Okay.
So, yep.
Okay, so this is what we got done in this video. Patrick has this laid out, and that's what you're trying to figure out. So what's the plan?
Yeah, so we've got the bench laid out. I've got some cuts to make. We've got some cuts to make in the flue tile as well. Everything needs to have openings for the cleanouts and for the air intake door and for the tiles to fit together themselves. So that's what I'm doing now. That just takes some time. Tomorrow we'll be able to put that together rather quickly, I think, once that's all set up. And then we'll be putting stone on.
Awesome.
Yep.
We're right there, ain't we?
We're getting there.
Come along. You guys did a lot today. It looks awesome. Good job. Okay, so that's all we got for this video. Stay tuned for the next one. Like Patrick said, we're going to be doing that, and then we'll start sticking the rock on there, and it's going to transform into something beautiful. So stay tuned. Follow along. Watch yesterday's, today, tomorrow, and the next day probably. So hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. And go check out, what's your website?
Timpcast.com.
Timpcast.com. You guys are on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, right? Yeah, YouTube.
Yes.
Let's go check them out.